Good evening and welcome to tonight's Monroe City Council meeting. This is a regular business meeting for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. The time right now is 7 p.m. I'm going to ask that our clerk, Wyckoff, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members present and establishing a quorum are council members Fulcher, Gamble, Fisher, and Scarborough.
Thank you.
For the record, Councilmember Gamble is attending remotely.
Thank you. And the other council members who are not here this evening, they are currently in DC on business for the city of Monroe. So unless there's objection, we will consider their absence as approved. Excused. That's the word I wanted to say. All right, next item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Gamble, who is remote, will you please lead us on the pledge? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comments. This is a limited public forum for people to speak to the city council during this council meeting. Topics are limited to items on tonight's council meeting agenda and to topics specific to city laws, budget, and operations under the council's authority. Comments that are outside this limited scope will not be allowed. Comments that do not follow the council's rules of procedure will not be allowed. Pursuant to council rules of procedure as amended by council action on December 12, 2023, spoken comment is limited to in-person comment only for all city public meetings, including city council and all city boards and commissions. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Spoken comments that are not within the scope or time limit of this limited public forum can be sent to the council in writing. Information on where to send written comments is on tonight's agenda and on the screen. We will now begin our public comment. Please, as I call you forward, please state your name, area of residence, or association with the city, and then we'll start the timer. I do have, is it Yara? Good evening, come on forward. And if you could please state your name and your association with the city, we'll then start the 3-minute timer.
My name is Yana Telegina. I'm a part of Origins and live with the Sammamish Northeast through 15 years now.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And I just.
If you've got material to hand out, please hand it to our clerk, and then we'll hand it down to the council members.
Am I starting now or wait?
Yeah, she'll go ahead and restart the timer. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Thomas and City Council members, to allow me to speak today. My name is Yana Telegina. I'm a Chief Operating Officer for Origins Cannabis as a high-end licensed cannabis retailer in the state of Washington. You previously heard from our CEO, Sean Miller. We're born and bred in Washington operators. We founded in 2016 and currently operating in Redmond and West Seattle. In 2023 alone, we pay $4.5 million in sales and use taxes. We also care very deeply about our partnerships and in the communities. Every year since we start operating, we paid $20,000 to our nonprofit partners in our local communities. In 2024, recently we team up with the Team Survivor on the northwestern side, which provides fitness, health programs enabling women cancer survivors and taking a really big role on ongoing healing. I want to talk today about a little bit of safety because it came to my attention that this is a very big deal for you. I make some points here, as has been demonstrated by numerous academic studies in Washington. Then throughout the United States, we legally, whatever that legally regulated as adult use cannabis programs, there is no increase in crimes, but rather is an increase in the well-paying careers, meaningful tax revenues to cities. Since I-502 passed, there has been a huge increase in the national approval rate for the adult use cannabis. Currently, over 70% nationally, and I would argue that Monroe reflects the same thing. Many residences will be interesting to have a cannabis dispensary, then it's safely and regulated operating in each of the local communities. Many view cannabis as a wellness actually products that can assist with the sleep and the pain reduction in measured way. Adult Monroe residents who are responsible consumers should not have to drive 30 minutes for their local pharmacies, as much as they should not be going 30 minutes away to pay for cannabis products and give money and the taxes and the businesses to some local cities. Monroe residents can access regulated tested products in a town, and they will be directing their dollars towards the Monroe business with the well-paying jobs. I know you have some not feeling comfortable around cannabis. I'm asking you to just give us a time to, unless understand what we can do to maybe overturn some of your feelings and giving you a little bit more understanding around the cannabis in the business.
And I'll need to, that's all we can allow for this evening.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's anybody else in the audience who'd like to speak today that I cannot see, that if you raise your hand, all of a sudden I'll see you, please let me know. Jason, there's nobody else in the audience, which is why I'm saying that. Good evening, Zach. Good to see you. All right, there being nobody else that would like to speak this evening, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. That item is the consent agenda. Looking for a council member. Councilmember Fisher, if you were moving for your flag. It would be, I move to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda from Councilmember Fisher, a second from Councilmember Scarborough. Discussion on the motion to approve the consent agenda. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is councilmember reports. Are there any councilmember reports this evening? If so, raise your hand. Okay, Councilmember Gamble, go ahead, and then
No,
Councilmember.
just a reminder for those that are interested, the Monroe Public School Foundation online auction opens this Friday, so you can go and register. And that I know many have donated before, and anything you bid on and you're successful for goes straight to Sky Valley Education and Monroe Public School Foundation folks. So opens this weekend. Lots of good stuff. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Fisher.
No, not much. Just a fairly quiet week. Attended Legislative Affairs Committee meeting earlier today, and then last week was public safety.
All right, thank you very much. Any other council members? All right, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to staff and department reports. I'm going to start with the city clerk report, item 7.1.
Thank you, Mayor. The fourth quarter report for 2023 is fairly simple. Just wanted to highlight a couple of things. One is on page 3 of the report, highlights some case laws that have come out, and not case law, it was decisions made in the courts related to the resources that agencies are putting towards public records, and the city of Monroe and city council specifically has been very supportive of making sure that we have enough resources, including creating a full-time position for our public records officer. And then just as the chart indicates on page 4, there are increases in all 3 months compared to the previous year. So we are still seeing an upward trend of our records requests. And then lastly, just a quick kudos to Sherry Simonson and her group, as well as entire staff who donated $2,328 for a family who lost everything in a fire through our annual e-bake sale. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Clerk Wyckoff? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the next department report, and that'll be the Parks Department report with Director Farrell. We'll go ahead and make it so that Director Farrell can speak. Director Farrell, you're now in the panel for the department report. Do you have a short report for us this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Thomas. Good evening. Good evening, council members. So yeah, in your packets is the department report for the last month for parks. I'm hearing a whistling noise. I hope it's not me. But I want to, in addition to the report that's in your packets, I want to point out there's a couple of things that are coming up here soon. So a week from Saturday, on Saturday, March 30th, is Egg Hunt at Lake Ty. The festivities kick off at 9 a.m. with activity booths for our community, and then also then the hunts start at 10 a.m. And then the second thing I want to bring up, again, another heads up, is our second Trails open house for the Trails Master Plan. That is Thursday, April 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. and it'll be held at Park Place Middle School. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Any questions for Director Farrell? All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda, thank you, Director Farrell, is the City Administrator Report Extended Agenda. Administrator Knight is also with staff in DC, so we have Clerk Wyckoff. Go ahead.
I don't think I've ever talked this much in a meeting. So for the extended agenda for March 19th, we do have it marked as possibly cancel, which I will discuss during the city administrator report. Currently nothing on the study session agenda and one item on the Finance Human Resources Committee agenda. For the March 26th meeting, currently nothing listed under the P3 committee meeting other than approval of minutes. For the regular business meeting, we are going to have David Hose here introducing his mural concept. And then for consent, we have ACH, AP minutes, payroll, committee and board and commission committee work plans, accepting a project beginning the lien period for the 177th sewer line replacement, authorizing purchase of the 179th Avenue pump station generator, resolution for accepting the 10% Monroe 30 annexation will be under final action. New business includes a 2044 comprehensive plan guiding principles discussion. Under department reports, we currently have listed finance, HRIT, community development, police, public works, economic development, and human services, and an exec session related to potential litigation.
All right, any questions on the extended agenda? All right, next item then is the city administrator report. Do we have anything this evening?
We do.
Yes, we do.
So as I mentioned during the extended agenda item, the study session has no items on the agenda, so we're asking council to vote to cancel that meeting. We want to ask the members of the Finance and Human Resources Committee meeting if they would also like to cancel. And we wanted to mention that there is currently a timeline of for the biennial budget to talk about revenue options. The current timeline is next Tuesday at the Finance Human Resources Committee meeting. The introduction to the revenue options will be presented. Then at April 16th, the revenue options will go to the full council. And then April 30th, the plan is to have a council budget workshop to discuss the strategic plan and strategic priorities. So with that said, I have a requested action. You'll notice that it's to cancel the council study session and then in parentheses and the committee meeting if the committee members want to do that.
All right, so before we entertain a motion on the requested action to cancel the study session, are there thoughts on the Finance and Human Resources Committee meeting? Go ahead, Councilmember Scarborough. Councilmember Scarborough, can you hit your microphone, please? Thank you.
Becky isn't here right now, but do we need to have that meeting to get something done for her, for the ongoing needs?
My understanding is that the revenue options discussion was set up in a certain way so that if the committee has certain feedback related to that topic, that feedback can be incorporated into the discussion for the April 16th full council meeting.
Okay.
So if we decide to cancel the Finance and Human Resources meeting next week, then that's just, I suppose, maybe a missed opportunity for them to have that discussion because the next Finance and Human Resources Committee meeting is on the 16th. So it would be like no time to really take the feedback and incorporate it into the discussion.
My recommendation would be to keep the committee meeting if you're comfortable with having a committee meeting where you're not going to have a council meeting, or reschedule the committee meeting to another day if you wanted to not have to worry about coming here, since you are likely to cancel the study session.
I'd like to hear what my colleague also
Yeah,
on
of
the
course.
committee has to say.
Go ahead, Councilmember Fulcher.
We have discussed the topic at hand at least 2 meetings now. I feel like we've got a general understanding of it. To me, it won't really be a detriment for us to cancel the finance meeting that night. And of course, Jason's around to give us his opinion as well, so.
Councilmember Gamble, your thoughts?
Well, that's where I was going is I mean, we will be seeing the same information. I mean, the whole idea behind it is to, kind of prep before the full council. Full council is going to get those revenue options. It's the same. We did get the last meeting that we had, we kind of went through some of those options and talked about. So, I mean, I'm also just looking in the, for the staff as well, including Becky. I mean, there is the potential to save, because we're going to get it anyway, and then it's going to come to we're going to have another workshop. I don't know. I don't think I think we're okay.
Okay, just second. Go ahead.
The only thing that I wanted to say is I believe that this discussion is more than just what you have already discussed related to a specific project. I think this is overall revenue options for the biennial budget. Is that? Yeah. So that's my understanding. So it's more than just what you've already discussed.
So Councilmember Gamble, you're not aware, but Mr. Pyland is here and has weighed in just with Jody just a little bit about this being a broader scope than just revenue options for construction. So,
Right, but we would have that full
yes,
pack and
absolutely.
all of that by the Friday before the meeting of the 16th as well, right? Is there
Yep.
any reason why you just couldn't get the presentation sent to us on the 19th as the finance committee so that we can review it before, and if we have questions?
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. The answer is no. There is. Is there any reason? No. He can go ahead and send that information to you in the next week. So we'll make certain that we get that to you if this gets canceled. Sound good? All right. So if the council would like to, you've got the requested action. If you want to cancel the committee meeting, please go ahead and do that as well. I'm looking for a hand up or a flag. All right, Councilmember Fisher excitingly wants to read this. Yeah, a motion from Councilmember Fisher, a second from Councilmember Scarborough for the requested action to include the area in brackets. This would cancel the study session 1 week from today, the 19th, and also cancel the Human Resources and Finance Committee meeting that is next week. Any discussion on the motion?
I'm sure it was a glowing motion, just couldn't hear it.
But you heard everything I said, right?
I did.
Okay. Sounds good. Seeing no deliberation, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. All right, Mayor's report. A couple brief items. One, on Friday last week, I had the pleasure of viewing a mock-up of the mural that David Hose is putting together for City Hall for the council chambers. We will have that at an upcoming meeting, which you saw on your extended agenda. We're going to make certain that we have it at the meeting somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes ahead of the meeting so that you can walk by and take a look at it and share any thoughts about it with me and or other staff members. So before we move forward with actually having him do that work, we want to make certain that council likes what you're looking at. And so we'll just have a conversation after you've had a chance to look at it as to whether or not you're ready to proceed with the work. So I did see it on Friday. I thought it looked really good. And Anyway, I might have taken a picture of it, and those of you who are here might be able to see it if this meeting is short. Okay, so that was one item. The other thing, today in my day job, I attended Trooper Gadd's memorial service. He's the Washington State Patrol trooper that died in an accident that occurred on I-5 in the Marysville area. It's just a reminder of the fact that we have people that work for us who are in positions where they put their lives on the line and where things like this can happen. I was very pleased to hear that the city of Monroe provided some support today, including providing support for state patrol along Highway 2 up to the pass, so that troopers in the area could attend the memorial service. I also happened to just by chance be sitting in a position where two of our officers who were on a part of an honor guard, and it was a very large number of people that were a part of the honor guard at the Angel of the Winds casino. I'm sorry, not casino, but the arena. Yeah, I wish they would call it something different. At the Everett Arena here, they passed right by me, two of our officers, and it's one of those things that is really nice to see a profession in the region come together for the loss of somebody in the line of duty. And just seeing how Monroe participated and hearing some other things today, just, keep the family in your prayers and in your hearts. And the same thing with everybody that works for us, including law enforcement officers that are here. They're working to keep us safe day in, day out. They don't know what to expect when they interact with folks. And anyway, that was something that just wanted to share with you all today. All right. I think that's all that I have to share. I'd make a joke about there being a long executive session. I'm not going to do that. Unless there's objection, we'll consider the meeting as adjourned. All right, seeing no objection, we are adjourned. Have a great week, everybody.